Hey guys, I want to welcome you back to the Sensu Pop channel. New. How's it? I think it's pretty good. And most importantly, I think it makes me look really professional now. This should be the last deck profile I am doing for this set before the next set launch. So for the last deck profile for this set before the next set launch, I'm thinking what should we do? I do have quite a bit of decks lying around that I can do a deck profile on, but I thought about let's do a really fun one today. It's gonna be a deck that I've been playing for quite some time now. So see you guys after the short intro for the final deck profile, Shroom and Salsa, for this set before the next set launch. You see, I kind of have to do it the other way now because kind of like it. Hey guys, I want to welcome you back from the intro. We are going to be taking a look at Shroom and Salsa deck. If I sound like I know a lot about this deck, the reason is because I really do. I've been playing with this deck for quite some time now, and I have quite a lot of experience with this deck. I've done a deck profile in the past on this deck itself, but for the last deck profile, I really think that we should revisit this deck because so much have changed, so much experience have gained that I think it warrants a deck profile by itself. The mechanics is very complicated, so bear with me, give me some patience, let me take you through. I hope I will break it down as easy, as simple as possible for you. However, if you really get a hang of this mechanics, it really rewards you. It is a very fun deck, really. Okay, so let's take a look at the leader. Let me explain to you. What is this deck about? It is Graveyard Disruption. What you want to do here is to make sure that there is no battle cards in your opponent's drop area. And if that happens, you get really greatly rewarded from that, right? And there are not many decks that could handle this deck because you're just sending so many cards from their drop area to the warp, and sometimes they need it in their drop area, and you kind of win it. For example, like Cinchinrong and Duck Rolly. Alright, let's do this. Let's take a look at the leader. When this card attacks, you get to draw a card, and once per turn, when your leader card is in a battle. So defensively, offensively, you combo with a black battle card, and if you do so, your opponent chooses one black battle card from their drop and send it to their warp. If there's no battle card in their drop, you get to draw a card. And he has a very powerful Awaken ability, which is 4 or less, or if your opponent has 4 or more cards in their warp. So you flip over, untap 1 energy, draw 1 card, and flip the card over. Take note, you don't have to take your life down to 6 or 5 or 4 though. You just flip it over. So if you're playing against an overwhelmed deck, if they do have 4 cards in their warp, just flip it over. And then you are at 15k Awaken at 8 life. Alright, so let's take a look at his Awaken Side. It's basically the same. When this card attacks, you get to draw a card. When he's in battle, you combo with a black battle card. Defensively, offensively, your opponent has to send 1 card from their battle area to their drop, to their warp. If from their drop area to their warp, if they have no battle cards, you get to draw an additional card. This, you can like draw 2 cards in your turn. And you say that, okay, it's not exactly drawing 2 cards because you kind of have to combo black battle cards, right? Yes, that is the truth. But all these cards can be recycled and activate main once per turn. This is one of the things that you already unlock, which is if there's no battle cards in your opponent's drop area, you get to free play a 2-cost Evil Wizard Demon Realm, Demon God from your hands or from your deck, just like that. So you can choose it from your deck and play it 2-cost, not with their skills negated, with their skills intact. Pretty strong. Pretty strong ability because there are some crazy targets for this particular thing. I had to reconfirm with my opponent so many times that this can be done because it just sounds so broken. Alright, so what is this deck about? It is Graveyard Disruption. You really want to make sure there's no battle cards from in their drop area. White deck with a lot of boss monster and with boss monster imbued with them, right? So usually when it comes to white deck strategy, like weenie strategy, you swing with 15k, 20k, 15k, 20k, 15k, 20k. The thing about this deck itself, it's that you can go white, but you finish with a boss monster. Very powerful one, I'll show you later. This deck draws a lot and a lot of recycling from drop, because all this combo that you do, if you combo it properly, it is not a -1 from your hands, because all these cards that you combo can be played from your drop area. Let's talk about the first important card in this deck, Mechikabura, the King's Summons. I think this card is really good because it kind of sets up your turn to play properly. So this card, you were never gonna cast it for 3 costs. You're gonna do it for his 2 costs. What you do here is tap 2, take him, put it into your drop area. When you put it into drop area, what's gonna happen? You crit a life. So that is the cost. That's quite a lot. 2 costs, crit a life, and then you put this card into your drop area. What happens here? You go to your deck and find 2 Evil Wizard Demon Realm Rays with 2 or less that is not Mechikabura, and then you play them. So your 2 options here is gonna be Towa's Secret Maneuver and Chain Attack Gravy. The good part is it is not played with the skills negated. That means once they come online, you get to use their skill. And Towa Secret Maneuver is such an MVP in this deck because she has multiple function. 15k, it's a lot really, because you're just having her. When you play her, you look up to top 5 and of your deck and add 1 Demon Realm Race card among them to your deck. This is almost your entire deck. So the longer she stays on the board, the more swing the longer that she stays on the board, you get a lot of values. You heard it correctly, because when you play her or attack once per turn, you get that effect. So if she stays on the board the next turn, you swing with her, your opponent, you are gonna keep on searching top 5, top 5, top 5, top 5. Just like that, and you play her from the deck anyways, right? And this is a Demon Realm Race. That means if she's taken out, you can use your leader to recycle her from the drop area, and your leader recycle her from the drop area with without the skills negated. Immediately it is a +1. So tap 1, play her from the drop area, it is also a +1. That's why this deck draws so much, searches so much, that I almost deck out several times. And Chain Attack Gravy, it's a really good card. 14k when he's on the board. When you go offensively, the first time you combo with a battle card, you get a black battle card that is Evil Wizard, Demon Realm Race, or Demon God, which is almost every single card in your deck. You get to draw a card. And when this card is removed by an opponent's skill, you get to you choose 1 card from your drop from your opponent's choose 1 battle card from your opponent's drop area and send it to their warp. No drop area check for this one. So it doesn't have to be when your opponent has no battle card in your drop area. This card, every time it's a combo, you get to draw. And your leader, if that happens, you get to draw 1. Your leader swings, draw 1. If there's no battle card, your leader draws 1, and Chain Attack Gravy, you draw 1. The longer this 2 stays on the board, it is a +1 every single turn. +2 every single turn. That's why Mechikabura is such a good card, in my opinion. Alright, so sometimes you kind of need some turbo situation, right? Because this deck needs your opponent to have no battle cards in their drop area. So how do you do it if your opponent has a lot and they don't want to overwhelm? Towa's Secret Maneuver do have a secret with her. We are going to do some turbo graveyard disruption. And so what you want to do here is you, for the second turn, because on turn 2 you tap out for Mechikabura, right? For third turn, she's on the board, swing with her, look up to top 5, pick a Demon Realm Race card, put it into your hand. So good. Every single card, almost every card that you play, it's going to be a Demon Realm Race. And then after that, tap 1, evolve Towa Dark Sorceress. This card, it's a 3-off in this deck because I play her so many times. It is a 1 cost 20k. When this card is played, you get to draw a card, then shuffle up to 4 battle cards from your opponent's drop area into their deck. The bad part about this, sometimes when I use this, I have to shuffle their super combo back into their deck. However, you are gonna out combo them anyways because of a huge hands, so this is definitely okay. I only use her when it is required because there are just too many battle cards in their drop area. But when you use her, she's such a good card, really, trust me. Alright? So let's take a look at one of these recycling mechanics, which is one of your main aggression mechanics. Turn 1, Dimensional Converter. This is so good because when this card is played, it is a searcher. You look up to top 5 and activate main once per turn. You don't have to see if there's battle cards or not. When you tap 1, you get to choose play a skillless Demon God, which is 15k from your deck or drop area, and do that. So once per turn, you get to do her ability. So you get to play 2 skillless battle card, which is going to be Shroom and Salsa. 15k, 15k each. You can swing with them, and this is how you do it. Every time I have Shroom and Salsa, I combo with them. You know why? Because you can tap for Towa and play it from your drop area. This is one of the recycling mechanics, right? So you combo with them, after that you tap 1 for Towa and bring them back into the board, swing with them, and they are gonna come back to your hands anyways. How? I'm gonna show you how. Alright, so it is gonna be Shroom, the new Demon God. So Shroom and Salsa each has a new Demon God card, which is 5k, and how you play them is that you tap 1, you choose that skillless battle card after you swing for 15k, just 1 energy though, you put it back into your hands, not into your drop area, put it back into your hands, then you can play Shroom, a new Demon God. When he swings, you choose as 1 battle card from your opponent's drop area, send it to their warp, and if there's no black battle card, he warps something on the board, just like that. He is a high priority target, more than just a 20k swing that come off for 1 energy. Take note, it is not unique. That means you can do it again and again and again and combo with them. There is a kind of like a very cheeky combo, which is Salsa, the new Demon God. So you choose which one that you want to use. If there's something on the board that you need to take care of, it is going to be Shroom. If there is none, if you want to continue aggression, it is Salsa, because Salsa does the same. You choose 1 skillless battle card, tap 1, put it back into your hands, and then you play Salsa. When Salsa swings, you send 1 of your opponent's battle card from their drop to their warp. No battle card, you get to play a 1 Evil Wizard Demon Realm or Demon God with energy 2 or less from your hands or drop area that you play. Then you can, from your drop area, play another 2 drop. And then you swing with the 2 drop, which is flip the kid, tap 1 and play Shroom or Salsa again. So if you have that energy, you could just do it. In this 2, it's hands and drop, that mean you can just do the recycling. So the part is, now you have also the skillless battle card in your hand, and then you can use them for comboing, put it into drop area, next turn tap 1, bring it back, Salsa, do all this shenanigans again. Your opponent will not be able to handle this. They don't know what's happening, and they cannot believe it that this is actually a legal play, because it happens to me. I really don't know. I really didn't believe that this was legal, and they are all not unique. Take note, that means you can play multiple copies of them as much as you want to. Alright, so let's take a look at some of the recycling mechanics. So you can recycle with Shroom and Salsa. You can play any card that is 2 or less from your deck. Salsa from your drop area, Salsa, a new Demon God, from your deck or hand, and this is from your hand or drop, right? So it covers everything. It depends on where do you want to do it. So these are all your targets. You can play Shroom, Salsa. Of course, Shroom and Salsa, you can use Towa. Don't do it. And you can use Towa Secret Maneuver. For Salsa, you can play another Towa Secret Maneuver, look up top 5, and the next turn when she swings, you look up the top 5 again. So you can flood the board with Towa Secret Maneuver, that every single time that you swing, you get an extra card in your hands. And with Shroom and Salsa, you just put it back into your hands for you to use for combo. Again, your hand size is huge though. Usually when I play this deck, my hand size looks like my deck, or but you know what's the broken part? Now we come to the broken part. And you ask me like, hey Sensupop, this is not broken enough. No, this is not broken enough. I'm gonna show you why is it very, very broken. Because this is actually correct. Magicabura, the Broken Seal, can be played with this 2 effect, just like that. From your drop or from your, if you have it in your hands, you're not gonna card cards for 2. They can be free played or for just 1 energy. You can recycle because one of them plays it from the drop. I think Salsa plays it from the drop. You can recycle Magicabura. Of course, you cannot play it turn by turn. Like you have to kind of wait 1 more turn. But recycling Magicabura, it's possible in this deck. And it's not that, oh, I need to have it in my hands. No, because if you really need it, Shroom and Salsa can find it from your deck and play it. So what is Magicabura? When this card is played, you declare it is a no card, right? So when this card is played, then you get to choose one of your opponent's energy, character's name, and your opponent cannot play it for the next turn until the end of the next turn. And he is also 15k, that means you can swing with him. Your opponent might want to take him out, because if they don't, it's always a 15k swing, but if they do, you can recycle with Salsa, a new Demon God. Use him for combo, I always do that. Alright, so let's talk about the boss monster for this deck itself, right? So with all this 20k, 15k swing, 20k, 15k swing all the time, you get multiple. Usually down, if your opponent kind of tapped out, usually at 3 energy, I bring my opponent down to 1 or 2 life. Now let's talk about the boss monster. A very beautiful card though. Dark Mask King, Devilish Dominator. This is one of the cards that you don't really can search for or get it from your deck or hardcast it. You kind of have to play it for 4 energy, and when you play it for 4 energy, if your opponent has 3 or more cards in their warp, you play this card from your hands. Usually this is fine. Deflect Triple Strike, that means it's gonna come out unless your opponent plays a like charismatic villain, then it's gonna be hard. But it is very hard to defend your unison against this deck, because if your opponent has a green unison, you just swing multiple times at the green unison, 15k, 20k, 15k, 20k, 15k, 20k, your opponent can't handle this. Alright, so the best part about this is a triple striker, 25k. When this card attacks, you send 2 cards from your opponent's drop area to battle cards from their opponent's drop area to their warp. And if there's 10 or more cards in their warp, you switch this card to active mode. That means this is a 4 energy triple striker, 25k dual attacker. Once per turn, if your opponent activates a skill, counter skills during a battle with this card, your opponent has to crit 1 life. This card ends games really, because it goes for another swing. 25k with your combo size in your hands, your opponent is unable to handle this. But we do have another trump card, and it is gonna be Dark Mask King, Dilute of Darkness. I'm playing 1 copy of this because if the game drags on, because you're playing against a deck that is pretty difficult to handle and very defensive, so you send a lot of cards from their drop to their warp. This card basically ends games. 25k, you have to hardcast him for 5. Once per turn, when this card attacks, you may send 1 card from your opponent's life to the warp for every 10 cards. So if they have 10 cards in their warp, if you're playing against an Overwhelm card, they really don't want Overwhelm deck, they really don't want to see this, because it has deflect, right? So your opponent cannot counterplay against this, except for charismatic villain. Like I said, when it comes to charismatic villain, it's too bad for them, because you're gonna swing so many times on them anyways to their unison. So when you swing with this card, and if your opponent, it's gonna create a lot of life. The ruling is this: you need to send 1 card from your life to your warp. So if you are down to 1 life and your opponent is down to 1 life, you swing with this guy, your opponent warps a card from their hand, from their life, so they are down to 0, the game ends there. So you don't die because of that, okay? Because your opponent kind of dies, loses the game before you loses. Good? Alright, so that is the ruling over here. So this is deck profile itself. I'm sorry that I took some time to talk about this, because it is, how do you say that? It is very, very complex, and I want to make sure that you know how to play it. Alright, so here we go. Turn 1, just play Toa, search 5, make sure everything is alright. Turn 2, Magicabura sets up Toa and Chain Gravy, and you're good to go. The rest of the decks, it really depends. If you want to go white because your opponent is playing green, makes, you know, it's just a little bit more difficult to handle. So just play Shroom, Salsa, Salsa God, Shroom, and just keep on swinging at them. How long and how many dormant potential can they have, right? And after that, you can also, if your opponent is, you need something heavier to hit them, so Dark Mask and Dark Mask King, just to finish the game over there. Alright, and Power Burst can bring back Toa, your leader, and your Salsa can bring back Toa, and recycle Toa, all this 2 drops, and also your Magicabura. Alright guys, so this is the deck profile itself. I hope you like it, and yes, so this is really something that I really enjoyed. I hope the audio is better with this mic stand, but I like it. It makes me look very professional. That's good. If not, guys, I wish you guys a nice day, and see you guys in the next video. Alright, ciao, bye.